Hello, lovers and leaders. How are you? Welcome to another time with me, Dr. Sarah. I'm your IO psychologist, industrial organizational psychologist, coach. I'm your mentor, even spiritual advisor and friend. Please check out my link below to see various services I provide for one-on-one coaching to get the best out of yourself. You need just one person oftentimes to see your blind spot. So please check out my link below. So today, you are so privileged to get some really valuable feedback from an office manager that I'm very familiar with. She hires a lot of customer service representatives, okay? And I wanted to get her insight literally on like what she looks for on resumes and job application forms because she's very, very thorough. So please listen, take note, okay? And let's go. All right. So she actually says to me that, she is definitely in a position of hiring and firing customer service reps very regularly. All right. And she says that her last customer service representative position, there were like over 2,000 applicants in less than a month. 2,000 applicants in over less than a month. Okay. So first of all, she says, if you out there, a potential candidate in the job market right now, if you see a position you really want, tailor your resume to that position. Tailor your resume to that position. She advises to read the job post and analyze it. I know this is the part that everybody just loathes because looking for a job is a job in itself. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up, okay? Because I understand, all right? But one of the things I would add to that too is that on your resume, as you're reading through the job description, look at the key words on that resume. Look at the key words and highlight those keywords on your resume as much as possible. Even if it's something that they're asking for, a certification in a particular program, for example, you could actually look out there and see if there's a training for that and put the keyword of the software and say, you're in training for this particular software program. Okay, I don't expect you to know all the, have training or certifications for all the softwares they may have for that particular job description, for example. But if there's one that you think for sure you need to be certified in and you can, put the keyword of the software program and say, you are in training. Okay, so I want to say that highlight the keywords as much as possible in your resume and the application form, because as they're using the hiring managers, the recruiters, HR managers are, sieving through these resumes, they're using their programs and they are looking for those keywords. So make sure you highlight those key words, okay? All right, so yeah, she says read the job post and analyze it properly. She says research the company. I definitely agree with this. Research the company because you yourself have to see yourself there. Do you believe, right, that this company is going to be a good fit for you? Can you do some research to get an understanding of where the company's going? How about go on the company's website and download its annual report? On that annual report, you'll see the different products and services that the company's offering. You'll see a financial analysis. You see analysis of the labor culture there. You see analysis of the leadership there. You see the analysis of the gaps in the business where they want to, solve some problems there. Do you see yourself doing that, solving some problems there? The job that you're applying for, how does that, align with the mission, the vision, and strategic goals of the company? So these are the things you should be keeping in your mind, writing down, and those are the things should be highlighted in your, I would also say your cover letter, as well as somewhere in the resume and application form, because they need to know that you know about this job in and out. They need to know you that you are familiar with the company that you are applying for. Just like a relationship, we should do some research, right, before we say yes. Okay, so research the company. Again, keywords. What are some things, highlights in the annual report, for example, on the company's website, or anything on the, they have newsletters, some keywords there that you could add to your resume, add to the cover letter, add to the application form, so they can see, oh, this person is very well versed in the company and well versed in how the role will fit into the strategic goals of the company. Okay, so I hope you're tracking this. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section if you're tracking this. And then she says to me, she wants to know, for the candidate, what are you going to bring to her table? So in general, what are you going to bring to the table of the company that is going to be exceptional? All right, for them to go out, listen, for employees to go out there and cast their nets, all right, they do want to see something special, because in their, oftentimes in their current workforce, they have some great people, I'm sure, right, really good people, but they do want to have somebody that thinks a little bit different to take their company to the next level, or even their group dynamics, someone that could really be a positive influence in their group dynamics, teamwork, to take their group to the next level. So think about, what is it that the dynamics, what are they working on, and what can you do to really make yourself stand out in the company and even the team that you're going to be working with. All right, and like she says you have to stand out in some way, because like she says, she dealt with 2,000 plus applicants in a month. You got to stand out. Even the resume itself, look at some templates on Microsoft Word, look at some templates on Canva. All right, get inspired, do a search online and see what templates are eye-catching. If it's eye-catching to you, it's going to be eye-catching to the employer. Okay, all right. So and there was somewhere I actually also read too that someone did a resume and the color scheme was the same, similar color scheme as the company that they were applying for. I would even go a little further, is that you may even want to put the logo somewhere on the template of the resume. All right, so if you're tracking this, give me a thumbs up and put some in the comment section. So we're giving you some tips here so you could be successful. Okay, so like we've said, you need to stand out. You need to stand out. And this was so eye-opening for me, and I'm sure to you too. She says the job application and the resume, your job application and resume, to her, and I'm sure to many others, hiring managers out there, is the first interview. Yes, is the first interview. If this is a new concept to you, that you've never heard that before, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section. So that job application and the resume, to her, and I'm sure many other recruiters out there and hiring managers, is your first interview, is your first rite of passage for them to even take notice of you. How about that? You're getting nervous about the one-on-one interviews or the group interviews. How about the reality that your job application, your resume is actually the first interview? Okay, you tracking? You tracking? And she says, I can't stress this enough. So if you wanted to get an insight how these hiring managers, HR folks, recruiters are thinking, she says, I can't stress this enough. The job application, the resume, and all its whistles on the stuff on that resume, all the interesting font, is the first interview. How much effort you're putting on that job application, resume, is going to make a difference or not. Okay, if you're not putting much effort, you got to stand out. All right. And as part of my career advancement module, please look at the link below. This is something I do offer services to help you to provide various forms of templates and also to write up resumes for you for the particular job application. The particular job application. So I'm all about writing winning resumes for you. Okay, so check out my link below. All right, so I hope you caught that. Job application, resume is your first interview. She can't stress this enough. Now, then she says automated screening and grading will give me the first 50 or so. So they have inbuilt systems to sift through all their Indeed job posts, for example, all their Glassdoor job posts, for example, okay, all their LinkedIn job posts, they have an automated system to screen out, in her case, 50 plus resumes. So it's important to have those key words from that job description on your resume. All right. And if you don't, even if you have the keyword, you can put something, something parenthesis that you're saying you're working on something, or you could say, this is the transferable skill. You don't have that particular skill, but you have this instead, and you do see this as a transferable skill. But those keywords are important, okay? And then she says she has no time to read all these resumes. All right, she just doesn't have much time to read all these resumes. Even having 50 plus interviews, she doesn't have time to interview people. So she also points out that if you can't follow the directions on the job ad, forget it. All right, they ask you to attach your driver's license and you don't, forget it. They ask you to attach a particular certification and you don't, she says forget it. Okay. Next, she talks about spelling, grammar, punctuation. It counts. So please, put your resumes through Grammarly, for example, Grammarly, for example. Spelling, grammar, punctuation count, or give it to somebody to review. Again, part of my services in a career module is for me to review your resume. All right. Read out your resume out loud. That also helps too. Then she says, no contact information. If you have no contact information on your resume or your job application form, she says forget about it. And there's a reason why I'm coming to that. She says forget about it. No contact information, forget about it. Okay. She says, is your resume easily readable and professional looking? As I said before, I did some research, and a lot of hiring manager recruiters are looking for a really nicely fonted, nicely designed resume that stands out and professional looking. So do your research of certain jobs you're looking for. What is the internet saying about resumes in alignment with those jobs? Okay. So again, is your resume easily readable and professional looking? Put yourself in the position of the hiring manager, the HR manager. That is very helpful. Put yourself in their position. All right. Then next is the relevant experience, or something that will cross over. So do you have relevant experience that the job description is asking for, especially when they say those preferred requirements? Do you have those? If you don't have the exact, can you do a course? Can something you could do in the meantime to say, you could say something like in process, or do you have current skills that are transferable and you can justify it and make it very clear that it's transferable to meet those, especially those preferred job requirements? Please don't gloss over those preferred job requirements. These are the ones that they really need. Okay. All right. And if they need it, it means that maybe oftentimes somebody else in the organization doesn't have it. So they really do need somebody that have these skills and experiences. Okay. All right. Then next, keep this in mind too, that if the job post has a requirement, minimum years of experience, which we often see those, right? 1 to 2 years, 3 to 4 years experience. She's looking for that on your resume. The hiring manager, HR, is looking for that, at least that minimum years of experience on your resume and application. So, for example, she says if you check yes to 3+ years, for example, and if it's not on your resume, she says forget about it. So, in other words, if the application form, you check yes to it, right? Sometimes they have like a mini checklist of some kind on the application. You check 3+, but your resume doesn't have it. She's not even looking at your resume. So please keep that in mind. This is what HR folks, recruiters, and someone like this person, that my friend, she looks for that. All right. So make sure that your application form and your resume is in alignment. Okay. She also wants to highlight that do you change your job every year? Or worst case scenario, 3 to 4 times a year? And she does and she does say that some longevity in a position is important to her. um an employment gap is not that important, especially if things happen in life. Like some of you may have to look after an elderly person. You may have had to take time off to raise kids, something, maybe a sickness or illness, things like that happen. Those are the kind of things you should certainly add somewhere on the resume, put it on the cover letter as well, okay, to really highlight and make those job gaps. But if you're moving around year over year or 3 to 4 times a year, unfortunately for many hiring managers, there's a kind of a red flag for them, because from their perspective, they put their time and effort in during the recruitment process and the hiring process. Then they're going to put their time and effort to onboard you and train you up, and for you to leave potentially in a year or 1 year, for example, or two. It's just not a good return on investment on their time, and I'm sure you can understand that, right? So if you are trending year over year, explain the reason for this in your cover letters. All right. If it's a contractual job, or one of those temporary jobs, put that on the resume. All right, beside the job. If it was a temporary contractual job, a 1 year job, it's contractual, please highlight that on the resume so they understand the reasons for the so-called job hopping. Okay. All right, so make sure that's very, very clear so they don't misinterpret you as somebody that is unreliable, or not able to commit. All right. um then she says, she usually picks, out of the 50 plus, she usually picks the best 3 to 6 resumes that meets her needs. All right. And what she then does, this is why the contact information is important, and I'm sure you've experienced this before in your hiring, is that she reaches out to you. All right, she calls you or emails. But if she calls you and this is so funny, if she gets a pre-recorded, those generic type of voicemails, she said that's okay, but she would prefer if you had your personal greeting there and it's professional. Listen, in her line of work where she's hiring customer service reps, think about it. You're going to be dealing with the company's customers. They need to hear your voice. They need to hear your tone of voice, how personable you are, how professional you are. Everything about you from the beginning of this process, phone calls, conversations over the phone with the hiring manager, the HR person, they take all of those things into consideration. So please be on your A game. Even if your hiring manager emails you and says, they want to call you for an interview, your response back also matters. Are you professional? Are you friendly? And especially think about the type of job role you're going for. Are you professional? Do you care about the feelings of the person on the other side? Are you responding to their questions or to their email adequately? All right, because from all those interactions, they're trying to decipher and discern your personality and if you would be a good fit in the team that they want to hire you for. Because let me tell you something, don't think that people don't want to hire you. They really have to assess, will you be able to hold yourself, hold your own, and fit into the company environment as well as that team. They don't want to hire people and then within 6 months you leave. So please understand, just as much as you want to be seen and be interviewed, that hiring manager, the HR, the recruiter, they want to make sure they get it right, because when they hire you, all that effort and money they're putting down, they want to make sure that they retain you as long as possible. Okay. All right. So that voicemail, all right, especially if you're going for a customer service type role, please make sure you have your personalized greeting on in the event that they end up leaving a voicemail for you. All right. And like I said, if you get an email, make sure you give a professional reply back. All right. And interestingly, she says that voice interact, the phone call interaction, the email interaction, it's the second interview. So the first interview was what? Job application and resume. The second interview is the email interactions and the phone call interactions. Okay, she says she can't stress this enough. Listen, people don't, these hiring managers, HR people don't tell you this. All right, so I'm sharing with you valuable, intimate, intricate information here. Okay, so please make sure you watch this again if you have to and take your notes. All right, then she says, the first round of interviews, she's usually made her choices. All right. So that's that first round of interviews. That's that job application, resume. Second round of interviews, the phone interaction, the email. She's again will dwindle down on the application form. Think about it. She started off with 2,000 plus resumes. She wants to dwindle it down to 50, a little over 50. So those first set of interviews, which I've already mentioned, second set of interviews, okay, it's getting really tight. And before the actual face-to-face interview, okay, um, one of the things that she wants to highlight before you even do that face-to-face is about your personality and soft skills. And this is why, this is me as an IO psychologist. I am big on that personality and the soft skills. All right. These are the skills. This is the emotional intelligence skills. These are the communication skills. These are the conflict resolution skills. These are the problem solving skills. They're the teamwork skills, team building skills. Okay. These are the complex. Can you resolve complex situations? You know, are you someone that brings problems and just brings problems and expect someone to solve them, or are you a problem solver? Do you care enough? Great leaders, okay, are the ones that honestly care the most. Lovers and leaders, hashtag the greatest leaders I have observed, okay, even in my own life, personally, my personality, the ones that care the most are the ones that usually end up to be great leaders. Yeah. You may not even have a leadership title, but you could be an influencer in that workplace because you care the most. All right. So those personality skills, soft skills, if you need to sharpen them up, please check out my link below and sign up with some time with me. Okay. All right. Another thing that she looks for is, she thinks about is, who do I want representing my company and serving my customers? Who does you have to think about from the perspective of the hiring manager. They want to know who will be the best person to represent their brand, their company. All right. And also be the best person to interact with their customers and clients that they've accumulated. They don't need, you or anyone else to be a divisive force there, or to, push customers away. All right. So think about, look on the company website, see what they do, see who their customers are, see who they want to be their customers in the future, especially when you look at their strategic goals for the year. See if this excites you. You have to be honest with yourself. If the job excites you, but the company itself doesn't excite you, there may be a little bit of a tension there. So dig deep, ask questions. Okay. I'll also say that, when you're having that face-to-face interview, whether it's going to be a Microsoft Teams call, a Zoom call, or in person, be prepared to ask them questions too. Like she mentioned here too, she says she wants the candidate to interview her too. Right? And think about it. It's like any relationship you want to build. If you don't show interest, like, why am I going to invest my time with you? So do the research, company research, look at the gaps in the company, bring those points to just have as conversation during the interview. Let them see that you care enough. You see the wins that's happened in the company. Say you want to be part of that. Say how you want to be part of that, and see that, and talk about the gaps and ask questions. If there's some things on the website, they're showing, ask those questions that are relevant to your job role. All right. I really hope you got something from this. I was so happy to be able to have a sit down with this lovely hiring manager. Let me know if there was something new you caught from this valuable lesson of how to prepare your job application, your resume, and just really preparing for the process up until game time when you are face to face with your hiring manager and the rest of the team. All right, let me know what you caught from this, and do me a favor, check out, like I said, my link below. If some of the services there resonate with you, that you can need some help in your career progression, resume writing, I'm there for you. And if you really got something from this, give me a like, leave me a comment section, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss the next video with me. Okay, take care and stay blessed.